Hello and welcome everyone to this week's edition of the Redline Report. I'm your host, Reagan Payne. Today in Freight Findings, we'll talk a little bit about spot rates and lots about fresh produce. For recruiting Roundup, I've got 3 tips for you on how to get drivers and get them fast. In newsworthy nods, legislation is for the ladies. Maybe we finally figured out how to close that driver shortage gap. Back to freight findings, March is usually a slower month on the freight calendar. However, this year has not followed that trend. Spot market rates and volumes are at record levels, and contract rates are the highest they've been in 5 years. The traditional July 4th peak in spot rates has already been surpassed, 4 months prior to the Independence Day holiday. The polar vortex was the catalyst for this, causing a costly capacity crunch. According to the USDA, weekly truckloads of domestic produce are down 18% year over year. Volumes have been on the rise since the start of February. As mentioned last week, year-over-year comparisons will not be reliable and seasonality is truly out the window. Last week's Plant City Strawberry Festival in Florida marks the unofficial start of the produce shipping season, which begins in the southern tier of the country in spring and further north as temperatures rise. In recruiting Roundup, freight is here to stay, but some drivers are not. Retention is the best way to keep a strong stream of drivers hauling your loads. However, some trucking companies do not have any time to waste. Here are 3 great ways to get good drivers fast. Number 1, don't forget that your drivers often have friends who are also drivers. Offering a referral bonus to both your driver and their friend can reap quality results, not to mention increasing driver satisfaction with a nice bonus. Number 2, keep drivers in mind when doing outbound recruiting. The time to reach them best might be in the evening or on a weekend. Calls are obviously more personal, but text can be quick and convenient for both parties. Number 3, don't be afraid to outsource tasks your company does not complete efficiently. Many trucking companies struggle with finding drivers to recruit. Companies like HireMaster can often accomplish this more efficiently as it's our main focus. Let your employees prioritize what they do best. For noteworthy nods, legislation is for the ladies. Senator Tammy Baldwin reintroduced the Promoting Women in Trucking Workforce Act. I hopped on the phone with Ellen Boy, President and CEO of the Women in Trucking Association. She told me that the plan is to create a committee dedicated to identifying and removing a woman's barrier to entry in the industry. They also hope to expand the opportunities for women once they're here. This comes as no surprise, with women making up 47% of the workforce and only 10% of truck drivers. Check out the full story by clicking the link in the PDF below. Thanks for tuning in to this week's Redline Report, and check us out next week for more.